my finger like that.
Come and tap in with the Jacksons. We living, we learning, we laughing. No capping, we all about action, 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 yeah. Jesus is our main attraction. We glorify him with our passions. No capping, we all about action, 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 yeah.
Tap in with the Jacksons.
Tap in with the Jacksons.
You know we about that action.
You know we about that action.
Tap in with the Jacksons.
Tap in with the Jacksons.
You know we about that action.
Yo. Welcome back. Welcome back to
The Jacksons in Action.
The Jacksons in Action.
Yes.
And guess what? It's been a little minute, but even when we're not putting out podcasts, we're still what?
We're still living, we're still learning, and we're still laughing.
We still living, learning, and laughing.
Yes.
We still in action. All right.
still
The
in action.
Jacksons are always
in action. Whether you
All right?
see us or not, we are in action.
Facts. We are in action, and we are glad to be back.
Yes.
And we plan to just stay on the gas for the rest of the year. All right. We dropped the ball. We came in January. I think we did like 2 or 3 episodes.
Honestly, we did not drop the ball. We found out some news.
Yeah.
And I feel like we just need to address it right now because there's no hiding it, obviously. We're pregnant.
We're pregnant. Baby J is on the way.
Except it's not.
Baby J is our baby girl.
It's
We're not gonna put her name out there all the way for everybody.
okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
we ain't gonna put her name out there for all y'all
Okay.
nosy people. But if you're in our life, you know her name.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but she is on the way. But
She
you
is
know
coming.
what?
She's here.
Yeah.
She's here.
She here.
Yeah, she's here.
We love you, baby girl. We love you. But yeah, in January we found out that my wife is pregnant.
Yep.
All right. And
so honestly, that was a lot of processing and
facts.
figuring out how to survive the first trimester.
Figuring out this next season.
Yes, this
Of
next
life,
season.
Which leads us to the title of this episode.
Yeah, it does.
And this episode is called what?
It's called It's Just a Season.
It's just a season, man.
Yes.
We got a lot we're going to get into on this episode, but, it's just a season. This is one thing, and this is really the last point, but I'm going to hop in from the last point and just kind of do a reverse, and we can do the other ones in order. But seasons are temporary, all right? And every season has an end. So with us finding out that news, we took a break because like my wife said, it took us a while to process, to figure out this new groove of life, and really, it's our last season as we have known it for like almost 5 years. This is the last season that it's just going to be Kelsey
Us.
and LD.
It's the last
All right.
season of like selfishness, I
Right.
guess. Like not even in a negative way, but just only having yourself and then, your spouse, but your spouse is, capable to function on their own.
Mhm.
But, so you really only have yourself to worry about and make sure, and a little bit of your spouse. But now we about to have a whole infant,
Facts.
like a whole infant,
Baby
a whole
to
baby.
an infant, to
Well,
a child.
An infant into that's the same thing. Infant and baby, same thing.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Into a toddler, into a child. Like there's all the stages. Into a
Facts.
preteen, into a teenager, into an adult.
Woo, let's not get there. Whoa. Let's slow down the horses. The baby ain't here yet.
Ooh,
Well,
let-
she here, but she ain't here out in the
Let's
flesh.
just stick to the
She's
first
still-
season.
Yes, let's stick to the first season. So really, the season as we know it already over, really, because she's already here, really. She's not here in the flesh, but she's here in your belly.
Mm-hmm.
So the season of it just being about just me and my wife, that's over.
Yeah.
Like now, every time we make huge decisions in life, we are thinking about, okay, how this going to impact our baby girl,
Mm-hmm.
what we need to do to get in line for our baby girl. So it's a lot of stuff we got going on. So, yeah. So how do you feel about this change of season?
Whew. It depends. Depends on when you asked me. At first, it was very shocking,
Mm-hmm.
nerve-wracking, a lot. But now it's just, I'm kind of in plan mode. I don't know if I'm in nesting mode yet, but I'm in like plan and preparation mode. And yeah, just like it's getting more and more real. And so just trying to adjust my life and my lifestyle to be prepared for what's to come.
Facts.
How about you? How are you feeling about this change of season?
I'm excited, I'm excited. I feel like it's been a long time coming, this is something that we've always wanted, and now the time is here, So I feel all the emotions, excited, nervous, more excited than nervous, but yeah, just ready. I'm ready for this new season to change and ready to just continue becoming a better me. I think that's one thing, and we're going to make several episodes about talking about our baby, so just get ready for that. So if you hear something, you might hear it again, and you might hear it again, evolved, and you might hear it again, the new edition and another version of it. But one thing that I hear most often when it comes down to babies is that they make you better, They make you work harder. They make you grind harder. They make you think smarter, move wiser. And so I'm excited about that. Those things are already starting to take place. But when our baby arrive, it's going to even, challenge us to work even harder because we're going to have to learn this new schedule, this new routine that revolves around them and not around us. So I'm excited. But yeah, like I said, you're going to be hearing more of that and more about our feelings in future episodes and all that, dealing with the pregnancy. But this episode just ain't about pregnancy because, a lady out watching this probably ain't pregnant. Probably ain't nowhere near close to being pregnant. Probably ain't in no relationship, all right? But this applies to everybody, no matter what season of life that you're in, all right? It's just a season. So we're going to go and hop into it. So what's point number 1, baby?
Point number 1 is when you are in a season, it's important to understand the season that you're in.
Understand the season that you're in. And all the points that we have today, we don't have that many, but they're all going to always go back to all seasons has an ending. All right. So understanding the season that you're in, like I just said in the last one, like you may not be married and pregnant. Mm-hmm. You may be unmarried and pregnant. You may be single and pregnant. All right. You may be just a single person. You might be a kid. You might be an adult. You might be a teenager. You might be, grown single person. You might be in a different season of life. All right. We're all in different seasons of life. And it's important to really recognize so many times, so many people can get trapped in not understanding the season that they're in by not understanding that this season ain't forever. Like, just think about it as life. Just think about it as humans' life. Like with us, being pregnant is having us think about, just really how short life is, honestly. Mm-hmm. Like, life is really short, all right? We all come in here, we're a baby, we're an infant, then we're a toddler, then we're a child, all right, then we're a teenager, then we're preteen, then we're a teenager, and then we're an adult, and then you're an adult till you die, and then it's over. Like, really, when you think about it, I've been, like, asking my parents and just thinking about it like, man, how old am I going to be when our baby's 20? How old am I going to be when my baby 10, and just thinking about it like, man, like these seasons are so short.
Yeah.
So short. Like we about to be together, married for 5 years in October. Mm-hmm. And like that seemed like a long time, but then it really don't. Like it flew by, time flies. So it's important to understand that, man, this season that I'm in is not going to last my whole life. So I can't act like it is.
Yeah.
So many people think that, oh man, I'm gonna be a kid forever. No, you're not. All right. Or I'm gonna be like this forever. I'm gonna be young forever. Mm-hmm. No, you're not. I'm sorry to tell you. All right. I'm about to be 29 this year. And man, it felt like just the other day when I was 22. For real, because we met when I was like 22, 23 or something like that. That feel like just the other day.
Time flew.
Now I'm about to be 29, man.
That's
so wild. I can't be thinking like, oh man, I'm gonna be in my 20s forever.
Yeah.
No, my 20s about to be over. My wife halfway through her 20s. Like, man, like nothing lasts forever. So when it comes down to understanding the season, you got to be like, okay, I need to embrace this season. I need to learn, okay, what am I supposed to get out of this season? Let's say you're in a season of singleness and you desire to be married or you desire to be in a relationship. If you desire to be in a relationship and you're currently single, you need to understand, okay, what does God want me to understand in my season of singleness? Like, how do I need to grow? What do I need to put in place? So when I get married or get engaged, that I'm a better person to the person that God's calling me to be with. Like, or okay, let's just say you're a single person, like you just graduated high school. Let's say you are in high school, all right? Say you're 10th grade, junior year. Like, you got to understand, okay, I need to understand this season because in a few years, I'm going to graduate. And I need to know, like, what is my next steps I need to take? How do you feel about understanding the seasons, baby?
Yeah, that was really good. I like how you took it more for like the kind of broader seasons. But I think it's also important to understand the smaller seasons, like the seasons within the year. And I'm not just talking about like spring, summer, winter, fall, but I'm talking about the different seasons that we go through within a year or within a couple of years. And like those seasons could be like maybe like, let's talk financially. Like there are seasons we go through where we're doing really good.
Facts.
And there's other seasons that you go through where money's a little bit tighter.
Right.
Even like emotionally, there's seasons that we go through where things are going really good, and there's seasons that we go through where things are a little bit more challenging.
That's good.
There's with work, there are seasons that you go through, or there's periods of time that you go through where things are smooth sailing, and then there's other times where things are just really challenging and stressful. And it's important to understand the purpose of that season, understand God's perspective of that season. And I think that goes back to like when you start noticing yourself in a season, especially the challenging seasons, but even still the good seasons as well. It's important to always take time to reflect and sit down with Abba and be like, yo, like, okay, what is your perspective on this season? Like, why am I here? Like, what do you want me to get out of this? Like, what is the purpose of the season? Because what happens is, especially in the challenging seasons, God puts everything in our life for our good, or he'll use things that are meant for evil for our good. Yep. And so even in the challenging seasons, whether if that's an attack from the enemy or it's just straight from the enemy or whatever, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, like God's using that for your good. If you're going through it.
That's the Bible. Come on.
Yeah.
Romans 8:28. Let's go.
Yeah. So God is using it for your good. So like it's important to consistently take a step back and be like, okay, God, show me what is your perspective on this season. Yeah. That way, as you're walking through through that period of time, you're actually growing through that season.
Yeah.
Because what happens is when we just go through seasons and we just go through life, just experiencing it and just going with the flow and just letting life happen to us rather than being playing an active, intentional role in our lives and a very present role as well, is we end up repeating cycles. Ooh, we end up repeating seasons. And then we're like, why does this keep on happening to me?
That's good.
This always happens to me. Oh, and then next thing we know, we're passing that down to our children.
Right.
And then boom, before we know it, it becomes a generational cycle. And I think, and it's so much deeper than just this one perspective of, understanding seasons. It goes much deeper than that. But for the sake of time, it's important again to be mindful of the season that you're in and allowing God to speak to you and guide you through those seasons. So for example, like right now being pregnant, I'm trying to be very intentional about this season. It's not just about preparing, physically for this baby to get here, but I'm also preparing the baby to get here. I'm praying over the baby. I'm praying over myself. I'm praying over just different things, and I'm getting back in line with the authority that God's given me, and so that's kind of like the season that I'm in currently. Is that He has me in a season of just taking authority over my life, my children, the people coming after me. And but that goes back to understanding the season that you're in, which really at the end of the day is just being mindful and being present with God in each season of your life.
That's good. That's good. I love that, baby. For real. Like, key thing she said, like, come on, you got to learn what you need to learn in each season so you don't repeat a cycle. And then, like, a harsh reality, like, some people just wish certain seasons last forever, and they don't. You know, so you gotta grow up and realize, like, man, I wish I could just be single and, not have no responsibilities of being in a relationship or having a child, like, so for some people that might be your reality, like some people, they might be single all their life, and things like that. But still, it's still different seasons. Like, okay, if you 25, you shouldn't be living like you were living when you was 15. You shouldn't be living like you was living when you was 18.
Facts.
All right, like some people, it's 40-year-old men out here that's still living in their 20-year-old season.
Ooh.
And you stuck.
Talk about
and you
it.
stuck. And you are creating
about it.
cycles, and you are influencing other people that this is okay when it is not okay. You got to learn, like, okay, that season is done.
Yeah.
You know, and so many people get stuck with great seasons. Like, let's say you were a star athlete in college, or a star this, a star that. Like, man, that was my prime. You know, that was a great season. Okay, it was a great season. But guess what?
What about this season?
What about this season? You need to learn how to make this season great. You know,
Yes.
so many people think, oh, my great days are over.
No.
That's only your mindset. Like, if you think your great days are over, then they're going to be over. But if you learn how to, like, okay, this is a different season, and this season can be just as great, if not greater.
Yeah.
But I got to learn what I need to learn in this season. I need to seek the kingdom first in this season.
Exactly. Woo!
And we're back like we never left.
Yes.
All right. And so, yeah, understand the season.
So that leads us straight into the second point, which is how you handle the tough seasons determine your future seasons. And what that means is just like I mentioned before, is like, if you're just going through life, living life, not paying attention, not being mindful of where you're at, not being intentional with where you're at and what you're doing and how you're living, then you're going to end up repeating cycles, or you're going to end up digressing. Every season we have the opportunity to prepare for progression in the next season. And so how you, especially the tough seasons, it's just like an athlete. Athletes, they literally train blood, sweat, and tears for hours and hours and hours on end. I was just listening to a podcast about a famous basketball player who, when he was in high school, he would go to school all day, come home, do his homework, and then hurry up and do his homework. As soon as he was doing his homework, he would go straight outside and would be practicing his basketball outside all the way up into the middle of the night. And he said his mindset was he wants to be training while other people were sleeping. And then that, because that was his mindset and that's how he treated that season while he was in high school, he then from there became one of the best basketball players in the country at the time. Now, I'm not huge into sports. Pregnancy brain is getting the best of me, so I can't remember what this guy's name was. But the gist of it is like how he handled the season in high school. He had a vision, he had a goal, he had plans. And so that set him up to be where he is today. And the thing is, like, he had an amazing high school experience, just like what you were saying. He had an amazing high school experience, but he has an amazing current experience happening right now. He has an amazing life happening right now because he never lost sight of just progression, just this constant progression. So recognize that each season is an opportunity for growth, an opportunity for progression in the next season. So don't take those hard seasons for granted. I know they're challenging. It's, it's so much easier said than done, it's so much easier said than done. But at the end of the day, it still needs to be done in order to get to where we want to be.
That's good. That's really good. Man, hard seasons. Let's talk about them.
Yeah.
Let's talk about them because you're going to go through some hard seasons. I'm looking you directly in the eye and letting you know you're going to go through hard seasons. That's Bible. Like the word says, in this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I've overcome the world. Can't tell you where it's at right now, but it's in the word. I promise you that. You're going to have hard seasons, man, and it just take me back. We just recently got out of a hard season. Like, it was hard. And sometimes when you're stuck in those hard seasons, they feel like they going to last forever. But man, in those seasons, it's things that God wants you to learn. In those seasons, it's things that like, okay, this is hard, but it still can be worse. It still could be worse, right? It still could be worse. So many times we're like, man, this is just hard, and it is. I'm not negating that at all, but man, it could be harder, So even in those hard seasons, you got to appreciate, okay, this season is hard, but I got this. Like, this season is hard, but I'm not alone. Of course, God is always with us, all right? So you're never alone. So in the hard seasons and the good seasons, like, that's one of my favorite scriptures, Hebrews 13:8, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. So he is the same. He is right there with you in every single season. But let's take it back to what I was talking about in the hard season that we recently went through. All right, it's a very hard season, but I wasn't in that season alone because I had God. I wasn't in that season alone because I had my wife, And so, like, in that hard season, there was very few people that I could really talk to that understood what I was going through in that hard season, And I had to appreciate, like, man, if I didn't have this person to talk to, it was some people outside of my wife. Man, if I didn't have these brothers to talk to, this season would have been hell, or I probably wouldn't have made it out this season, to be honest. Because, as y'all know, depression is a part of my story, suicide and things like that. I've had those struggles, praise God. I'm, getting way better, way better. I'm not suicidal at all anymore, but depression, comes and goes still sometimes, but in a much better state and, like,
Progression,
really,
not perfection.
progression, really progressing out of that, But, man, if I didn't have some people with me, like, just letting me, like, okay, I need to get these feelings out, because if I don't get these feelings out, I'm going to destroy some people in this season, all right? Like, because I hurt people in that hard season. I hurt people in that hard season, And I had to apologize and learn, like, okay, God, like, man, this season is hard, but that still don't give me a right to, be a jerk. That still don't give me a right to act like this, and so many times in seasons, we go through seasons and we feel like, man, this hard, so I can act like however I want to act like. Oh, this hard, so I can just F this, F that, forget this, forget that. Like, man, I don't even care, and that's the wrong perspective. Like, if that's the perspective that you have in a hard season, you're probably gonna be in that hard season a lot longer, and you're probably gonna be in that hard season is gonna come around again, and you're gonna have to deal with it because you don't know how to respond in hard situations. Sometimes we go through things because God want to teach us, how are you going to respond? How are you going to respond when things don't go your way? How are you going to respond when you don't got the money? How are you going to respond when nobody really there for you outside of God? How you gonna respond? And you can't just be like, man, forget this, I quit, I give up, because there's people depending on you. So it's like, man, I gotta man up, I gotta woman up, I gotta be the person that God is calling me to be, and I gotta learn, okay, God, what you want me to do in this hard season? Because if I don't learn this hard season now, and if I don't really let this hard season sink in, and embrace this season and just toughen it up and work through it, I'm not gonna know how to respond in the next hard season, or you're just not gonna know how to respond to certain situations. And so those hard seasons are for a reason, it's for a reason. And so, like, man, how you respond in that, it's gonna play a part in your future. It's gonna play a part in, like, oh, you didn't pass the test, so God gonna send that same type of situation again, just in a different form. But it's gonna be the same little situation. Oh, you didn't learn this the last time. So
I'm curious. Tell the people, how do you handle hard seasons? Like, how have you learned to handle hard seasons better? Like, maybe in comparison to how you used to handle hard seasons, like, what's different now about the way you handle hard seasons? And that's allowing you to get through them faster.
I think really just understanding that it's just a season, understanding that, man, this ain't gonna be forever. Like, say for instance, like, struggling financially. We keep it real with y'all, all right? We say we started from the bottom and, we're progressing. We're still not where we want to be, but let's say, okay, going through it financially, I'm like, man, this is a tough time right now. But I can, not get all down in the dumps because I know, man, this is just a season. God has given me too many gifts. I know I'm not going to be in this place forever. And I know I got principles that I'm starting to put in place to not be in this same place, or go back to this bad position. And so I feel like really just understanding that it's just a season is, that's one of the things that helped with me. Like, especially like dealing with our last season, the hard season that we went through, it was just understanding, like, okay, this sucks. Like, I do not like this. I don't like it at all, one bit. I don't feel like I deserve this. yeah, just I'm not happy with this situation, but it's not gonna last forever. Right? It's not gonna last forever, and I think that's really helped me navigate the hard seasons. It's just
that's
knowing that it's temporary. What about
Yeah.
you?
I think nowadays it's about perspective. Not perspective, mindset. Like having the right mindset. And watching your thoughts in the process. It's so easy to let your thoughts just run away from you and just get going crazy. And when you're in a hard season and like all you're seeing is the challenge, I think it's important to get yourself in front of the light at the end of the tunnel in a sense, or positivity, hope. So in a practical sense, that might look like listening to more positive music. If you're going through a really sad time, now might not be the time to be listening to really sad music. That might be good for a while, just, process your emotions, but then eventually got to get out of that. If you're just really struggling, if things are challenging, honestly, sometimes I listen to whole full on like motivational speeches and compilation videos on YouTube and stuff, just to like kind of power myself up and like pump myself up a little bit, to like just grind it out, because sometimes you just gotta grind it out. And so just practical sense is like, if you are in the darkness, like find ways to get yourself in the light.
No, that's good.
If you are struggling with depression, get around joyful people. They may be challenging, or maybe not joyful people. Maybe it's even like get in the presence of God, like go to church, be around like good people, like whether if it's like happy people, like woo, or like just people who are positive.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all to help address your mindset. So
No, that's really good. If you're going through a hard season, you gotta find something that's healthy. You gotta find something, for you to help you through that hard season. Like my wife said, get in the presence of God. Of course, if you're a believer, getting in the Word, praying, setting up your devotional time. But like one of the things I forgot to answer in the question, it's like I started going to the gym, and so the gym is one thing that kind of helped me, like, if I'm going through it, if it's a rough week, I can go to the gym, and just get some of those emotions out, And so you need to find that, like my wife said, you need to find something for you to help you through the hard seasons, all right? Because we all need a break. We all need to relax. We all need to breathe, and you deserve that. I'm letting you know that. You deserve that. No matter what season you're in, you deserve rest.
Yeah.
It's biblical.
Yeah.
It's biblical. So
you
find
deserve
something
it and
that is
you
restful.
need it. You
And
deserve
need
it and you need it.
You deserve it and you need it. So most definitely get some rest no matter what season you're in. And that's something that we're still learning how to do, especially me. But yeah, so yeah, we're going to wrap it up there because we done said a lot, talk about seasons. But the main thing we want y'all to know in this season or in this episode is that seasons are temporary. So you may be in a season and be thinking this season going to last forever. It's not going to last forever. If it's good or bad, all right? Every season, there's an end to every season, and every season changes, and you got to just learn how to grow with the season. So we hope y'all got something from this.
Yes.
We back, so we need y'all to do what?
We need y'all to do a few things. We need y'all to like this video. If you got something from it, be sure to like this video. Leave us a comment below. Let us know. What y'all want to hear more of. From us here in the future, because we are creating our kind of like content calendar. If you benefited from this, share this video with somebody that you know. And then last but definitely not least, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And don't forget, we are officially a podcast. So if you're watching us on YouTube, we have the podcast version. So you can... Yeah, you can be listening to this in the car or when you get ready in the morning. If you are listening to us on the podcast and you want to know what we actually look like, check us out on YouTube. And then there's one last thing, babe, that they need to do. What is it?
Stay love driven.
Stay love driven,
We need y'all to stay love driven.
Yes.
We coming at y'all with a lot more, like my wife said, a lot more content. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, listen wherever you're listening. Put it on repeat. Go back and listen to past episodes. And stay love driven. We love y'all.
Bye.
Peace.